Welcome to English with a Twist. This is Shanti Kumaraswamy Street calling you on Wednesdays for our regular lesson, and today is lesson 23 of Wednesdays with EWAT. Welcome everyone. I hope you all can join me. It's 3 p.m. British summertime and we are 26th of April. Just making sure that you're all got your right calendar, the right time. So join me and let me know where you're from, what time it is. Let's do the usual welcome, meet and greet, see how everyone is, what time it is, where you are, and yeah, so that'd be great. So just to remind you all, you're here at Wednesdays with EWAT, English with a Twist. This is the place to be if you want to become better, more effective communicators in business with English. I see Laura has just joined, Dan and Austin has just joined, and it's 9 a.m. in the US, in Austin, Texas. Hi Dan, hi Laura, lovely to see you. Thanks so much for joining in. And let me know where you, who else is coming in. Maybe I've got my regulars coming in. I love it when I see all of you coming along. So, what's it like down where you are? Temperatures change suddenly. Aditi, hey there, hello from India, wonderful. Join, welcome India, welcome to the UK and London. Just as I started this lesson, we have some sun, and now the skies have suddenly got dark. I hope it's not too dark where you can see me with this live lesson. So do let me know whether, you can see me. Iris, hello from Italy. Now, as usual, I am going to try and look at my screen on my laptop to see everyone joining so that I can get to see your comments, because I don't always get to see comments from on my phone, which is where I'm recording. So Lisa, hi from Malaysia. Esther, hi. I can see, okay, there we are. So I can see myself even on the phone, so I can see people signing up. Excellent, right. So Hungary, wonderful. Andrea from Hungary, it's lovely. This is the United Nations of EWAT, English with a Twist. Okay, my announcements before we start today's lesson, lesson 23, which today it's all about LinkedIn profile. So how are we going to get that winning LinkedIn profile for you to get going? Danilo, you're from the Philippines. Hi. Listen, if I don't get to say hello to everyone, please don't take it personally. I'm just going to move on, okay? So as I said, I've got two announcements. First of all, to remind you, like I always do every week, don't forget to sign up to my free e-guide and my free weekly lesson. So my free e-guide is all about the 10 proven ways of how you can become better, more effective, more confident communicators in business with English. So it covers a lot of things, not just about the language, but also about non-verbal communication skills. So when you sign up to that e-guide, you will also get access to my free weekly lessons that I deliver every Fridays to your inbox. And now don't forget, those weekly lessons now have also an audio version to them. So I've started giving you audio recordings of all my posts. That way you get to read it at the same time as listening to the words and understanding how the words sound. Or perhaps you're on the move like all busy professionals and you need to listen while you're doing something else, which is a lot of us have to do. So that way you get listening practice as well as reading and vocabulary practice. So don't forget to do those two. First up, sign up and you'll get access to the free e-guide plus my weekly lessons. So go on guys, join that EWAT community. You know it makes sense. The other announcement, Vasiliki, hi. Gabriela, hi. I saw a couple of others who told me. Claudia, hi. Just stopping here. Namaste, Vasiliki. Cindy from Malaysia. I'm just sort of going through my list here. Thank you so much. So, second announcement for the day before we start our lesson is, you remember I talked to you about Business English Secrets, that ebook that I have recently relaunched and put onto my website? Well, some people, I've sold a few copies and I've been really delighted through my email list. And for those of you now, I'm going to be launching it through my social media sites, particularly for my Facebook followers. And some people have been a bit unsure as to whether to buy it, whether that's a book about for them. And I completely understand. I would be the same, wondering about it. So what I've done is I've put together a series of 5 videos to give you sneak peeks of what the book is all about. Now, if you'd like to get those sneak peek videos, and they're short videos, and each video will explain what each section of the book is about. So you can then have an idea of what you might, whether it's going to be something that is going to be useful for you. So now to get those 5 free video sneak peeks, I need you to join my, wait for it, EWAT BES, B-E-S for Business English Secrets Video Club. So I will be sharing that link. So if you join that video club, you'll be subscribed and part of my club, and you will then receive for the next 5 days 5 videos. So every day you'll get 1 video. The first will be the introductory video to tell you all about this book. And then for the other 4, we'll be describing in more detail about what particular skills the book covers. So remember, the book covers presentations, job interviews, small talk, and business writing. And in each video, I'm going to give you a bit more of what you're going to see in those books, and also what you're going to learn, and give you the scenarios, because I created scenarios. Remember, this book is all down to my experience of what you of all the experience of my teaching experience and what my clients have wanted. Abigail, you're saying that, I'm just interrupting here because you're saying you're unable to view. Have you tried reloading your phone or wherever you're watching me, perhaps to see? Because I can see myself on the Facebook live. So maybe you just need to reboot. Just a thought. Can anybody else see me? Can you give me a thumbs up? If anyone else is having problems, try that and let me know, Abigail. Otherwise, don't worry if you missed the live session. This is being recorded, and I will put it then onto the page. And also, this will be uploaded to YouTube, where then I will share it with other people. Right, so those were my... Okay, great, Danilo. You're saying, yes, you can view me. Wonderful. So now let's go to the class. Now that I've done my 2 announcements, so again, Business English Secrets, and as I say, do join the EWAT BES Video Club, and I will send you the link as soon as I've uploaded this lesson onto the Facebook page, and there you can get a chance to see it. Great, everyone can see me. Wonderful. Wow, just as I'm speaking to you, what I would say in English, in idiomatic expression, the heavens have opened, and it's now raining quite hard. Gosh, out there. I'm so glad I'm not out there and I'm in here with you. All right, so today we are talking LinkedIn profile. Okay, so Facebook sometimes freezes. Yeah, maybe that's maybe it's also could be to do with the weather here. Sorry about that, everyone. Stay with me. Stay with me. LinkedIn profile. How many of you have a LinkedIn profile? How many of you set one up? How many of you are thinking about it? Can you tell me, give me a brief idea through the chat box? Who has a LinkedIn profile, first of all? Give me let me have a look. I'm just curious. I'd like to see what are the views. What are people telling me? Anyone got a LinkedIn profile? David Zhao, you say you have? Wonderful. I do. Yeah. Anna, you have one. Excellent. Maria Victoria, you have one. Good. Okay. So a number of you have got LinkedIn profiles. Yeah. And how long have you had them? Dan, you've got one. I think I've seen yours, Dan. Need to just check it out. Right. Okay. So a number. Wow. Okay. So this is sounding good. So a lot of you. I don't have any idea of it. What is it? LinkedIn. Guys, what is LinkedIn? I had, but I forgot the password. Uh-oh. All right, maybe it's time. You've had it for 3 years or 3 years ago, Assad? About 3 years now. Gabriela, you don't have a LinkedIn profile. Vasiliki, you say not yet, but I must. Okay, let's take that cue. Why do you think you must? And, you know, for those people who have got a LinkedIn profile, have you had much involvement with it? You know, have you had results in LinkedIn profile? And what were the reasons for you to have a LinkedIn profile? Okay, so let's start. I want to start this lesson with asking you, why do we need a LinkedIn profile? Now, many people, LinkedIn is very much the social media platform for professionals. You know, very different from Facebook, where we share a lot of information about ourselves. Then, of course, if you're running a business like I am, we can have a Facebook page. And you know, so consequently, Facebook is completely different. Where LinkedIn is, it is very much where you want to develop your professional connections. Now, many people will say, well, why do I need a LinkedIn profile? And, you know, LinkedIn is, there are many reasons. For example, if you're an employee, some people will use LinkedIn profiles to have a LinkedIn profile in order to become more visible to recruiters and headhunters. You know, there are still recruitment agencies out there, but many recruitment agencies and headhunters now look at LinkedIn profiles to look for new people. So consequently, if you're looking for a new job, or if you want to be visible in the world of work, then you need a LinkedIn profile, because that way people can see who you are and what industry you work in, because that's where recruiters look first, and then they break it down. So if you're, you know, so you're looking at two areas. If you're an employee, you're in a job, then consequently you want your profile in order for other employers and recruiters to look for you. I had, so that you started to sign up now, great. So, you know, for example, I had a client recently. This is what prompted me to talk about LinkedIn profiles. She wanted me to work on a LinkedIn profile with her. So we had coaching sessions together on where I worked at it. Now, she's employed, and the reason for it was because she wanted to have to build her profile for potential employers and potential recruiters in the future. Very happy with her job now, but that's where she wants. It's your window. So imagine your LinkedIn profile is your window, your career window to the outside world. It's where people are going to see who you are, what you can do, what is your talent, basically. Now, if you are then a self-employed person, and you're a freelancer, and so consequently you are what you're going to be looking for your LinkedIn profile is to build your profile as a freelancer in order to get business. So then what you're looking for is business through your LinkedIn profile. So you're going to put in details about who you are so that people can find you through LinkedIn. So there are two ways why LinkedIn is used, and LinkedIn is an important area if you want to be taken seriously in your profession. So I would say that it is very important, whether you're starting out at work or you have been in the world of work many years. It is the place if you want to be taken seriously. I think that is, that is where, a lot of people need to do it. Now, so that's one of the reasons why I would say you have to have a LinkedIn profile. The other reason why you want to have a LinkedIn profile is because on a LinkedIn profile, you can write so much more than on a regular CV. So, whereas in a CV, there is only so much you can put in, because otherwise, to be honest, recruiters and potential employers are not going to read very lengthy CVs. On a LinkedIn profile, by contrast, they can zone into areas they want to. So it's much easier. And for you, you have much more flexibility and freedom to write as much or as little as you want. So it gives you a lot more potential to share what you're good at. Thirdly, the search engine optimization, the SEO of LinkedIn is really, really good. So, provided you put keywords in there, and this is where I help a lot of my clients, keywords in there, then the SEO engine, your profile will come up top in the search engines when recruiters are looking. So if, for example, my keywords would be business English trainer, business English teacher, and there are rules on how you set up your summary, how you put in your headline, and if you put your keywords in there, the search engine will find you. And so if people are looking for example, business English teacher in the UK, then they're going to look for keywords. And if you set your keywords correctly, if once a recruiter is looking, you will feature in the top search, just like Google. You know, so if Google does that, and so if you're a freelancer, if you are starting out on your own, you're self-employed, you're starting your own business, if you're a teacher, you know, anything you're doing, if you want maximum exposure, then that LinkedIn is a great way of doing that. I have found many people who've come to wanting to connect with me, who found me through LinkedIn purely from my keywords that I put in on my summary and my headlines. More of that to follow. So it is an important tool for you. So that's your LinkedIn profile. So now we've established, I hope, why it is important to have a LinkedIn profile. Let's look at these 10 steps I want you to take to make your LinkedIn profile work for you. Because I have seen many LinkedIn profiles out there, and I am not suggesting that my LinkedIn profile is the best thing, you know, in the world. In fact, please, you know, you feel free to have a look at my LinkedIn profile. But the more you can put into your LinkedIn profile, the better. I have seen LinkedIn profiles that are very, very basic. No photo. I do not like, if someone requests to connect with me and I cannot see their photo, I don't know who they are, I don't have, you know, any idea who they are, I'm not going to connect. It doesn't give me a professional feeling about this person. It doesn't tell me that you are serious and someone to do business with. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in that. Vasiliki, thank you. That's really nice. What a lovely compliment that you're finding this session useful. I'm so glad. So first things first, very important. Let's look at how we're going to build this profile, okay? For starters, think about who this profile is for. Decide who you're writing your profile for. Now, remember what I said about earlier. I mentioned about who are you setting up this profile for? Is it for potential recruiters? Is it for potential employers? Or are you looking to get more clients? Are you looking to build your business? With that point, then think about who you're writing to. And from there, you need to develop. Just like in business writing, we should always, or even presentations, we should always think about who we are writing. Who is my audience? Once you've decided maybe it's a potential employer, potential recruiter, or my clients, you then have to think, what do I want them to know about me? Again, remember what I said to you, your LinkedIn profile is your window box. It's your window, it's your shop window, your career window. If you imagine you're walking along a street and you're looking at all these shop windows and you're a customer, what would attract you about a window? What would make you want to walk into that shop and buy the goods in that shop? So imagine your LinkedIn profile is exactly that. You've got to imagine, so what is it about me? What are my skills? What are my achievements? What would make those people want to choose me as a potential employee or as a potential business person to do business with them, to do work for them? Think about that. So what is it you want from them? What would make me want to buy myself? And that's really hard, isn't it? You really think, what am I good at? But how do I put that across? So first of all, think very hard about who this profile is for, because it's not going to attract everybody and anybody. So it is, yes, LinkedIn, Vasiliki, you're saying LinkedIn is, let's say, your current online CV. But it's much more than that. It's a way for you to sell yourself. A CV doesn't always give you that chance. A CV gives you a snapshot, a summary of what you've achieved. Yes, it gets it. But LinkedIn is much more than that. And so you're selling yourself. So you really need to think of, who am I writing to? Who is this CV? Who is this LinkedIn profile for? What do I want them to know about me? And that's where you've got to do some hard thinking. So that's what you're doing. So think about what you want to show them. What would make them stop and buy? It is our online store. Very right, Vasiliki, exactly. It is your online store. It's your way to sell yourself. So what's going to make me want to buy? Yeah? So you've got to put, again, like I always say to my clients when I'm helping them, coaching them on presentation skills, on writing, put yourself in the other person's shoes and imagine what would make me want to buy from him or her. So that's one thing I want you to do. So first of all, decide who this profile is for. Secondly, with LinkedIn profiles now, as they've progressed over time, this has become, LinkedIn allows you to add multimedia. It allows you to have makes your profile more visual than ever. So you can include videos of yourself. So you could have a short video in LinkedIn. So for example, once you've got your summary, your headline, you can do a short video of yourself. Under each job, you could perhaps show what achievements you made. For example, if you have been in marketing and you prepared a brochure or you prepared leaflets or something, you can give them and show them. Yes, Ken, you're saying know what the needs and wants of your audience, your target audience is going to be for your LinkedIn profile. Absolutely. Sorry, I just stopped him to comment about Ken. Exactly. So what you want to do is include that sort of thing. For example, the client I was coaching recently, she in the past had put together brochures for the company she works for, which is a medical device specialist. Now she put together these brochures in English. She's a native speaker of Spanish. So I said to her, providing you've got the permission from your company, put that in so that potential employers or potential recruiters can see what you're capable of doing, so they can see real proof of what you've done. Now you can't do that in a CV, but you can do that on LinkedIn, so people have an idea. So that's really good. You can put in PDFs, you can put in videos, you can there's so much more that you can do with LinkedIn. Makes it more interesting, so make it visual. The third step is to go for the detail. As I said before, you can put a lot more into LinkedIn than you can in a CV. So for each job that you've held, put in as much detail as you want. You can cover as much as you want with each job. Maybe you can discuss even volunteer jobs that you did, a success story. You can give examples. So there's a lot more you can put in, and nobody's going to stop you from doing that. They're not going to say, well, that's too much, because again, they can just zone in to the areas that interest them. Vasiliki, you're saying, I'm just stopping here to say that could LinkedIn be competitive in a kind of negative way? Could you expand a bit more about that? What do you mean? So I'd be interested to know if you can just give me a bit more of an idea. How do you mean? So going back to this, so as I say, so you go for the detail, put as much as you want to, because nobody's going to stop you and say, oh gosh, this is too much. Now, having said all that, if you're going to put a lot of detail, maybe you've got a very, very interesting professional career, professional activity. You've done a lot. Your achievements are are varied and you want to share that with people. For example, with me, you know, I had a background in business and in finance, so consequently I want to show people my background. Then I moved into teaching, and then what I've achieved through teaching, you know, the different roles I've had and that sort of thing. And also maybe you've written publications, maybe you've done that sort of thing. So then you want to share all that in your LinkedIn profile. So do that. Now, with all this information, of course, we get to step 5, which is you need to make sure you organize this information. Again, we're visual, right? So if we're going to be visual, we want things to make it look visually attractive. So don't put a lot of information, break it down, organize that information, use bullet points, yeah? And so that way people can see it very easily, the main points that you want to make. I see here very kindly Giovanni has just shared my video. Thank you so much, Giovanni, for doing that. Really appreciate it. Hi, Sumish, for coming into the class. So again, so organize that information. Just like I give my clients so much help, it's not so much help, so much advice on how to organize your information when it comes to business writing. Similarly with LinkedIn, yes, highlights, but even bullet points. Is it that what he does is true? Right, okay. I get what you mean, Vasiliki. So if you're putting in too much information, how do you want to be? You've got to be truthful. All the information you put has to be truthful and has to also be backed up with achievements. So again, when we're talking about achievements, when you're writing it, quantify your achievement. So when you're organizing all this information, when you're writing all this information, you're going to say, well, you know, I was, you know, I achieved this. Quantify it, because when you go into that interview, if you do happen to go into an interview, you're going to have to back up everything you say. So don't be, you know, mislead yourself to think I can write anything. No, you're still going to be truthful about what you've written, what you've done, what you've achieved, because it is still a factual place. You know, if you want to be taken seriously, then you have to be honest and truthful, because people will come back and check things. So always do that. In fact, I was going to mention this later on. So as I say, organize that information when you write down what you want. Use bullet points. Bullet points are a big thing. They will save your life. Make it nice and visual. Write it down clearly so people can see clearly what it looks like. There are quite a lot of examples out there, and I share that in this because this lesson comes from a post I recently wrote, which is also got an audio version to it, and I'll be sharing with that LinkedIn for you to see that. So organize the information. Step 5. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. I was at step 5. This was step 4 earlier. I'm going one step ahead too fast. Step 5 now. Don't leave any section blank. Please don't leave any sections blank. What you have is you've got your headline, you've got your summary, and then you've got the information in education, career history. Don't leave any section incomplete. Make sure you do it. Now, as you're putting together your LinkedIn profile, you might think, well, I don't have all the time to complete it. Don't worry. You can save your settings, keep it private until you're ready to publish it and make it public. Okay, so don't worry. But don't leave sections blank. It makes you look lazy and unprofessional. And I really don't like that. When I've seen LinkedIn profiles that are, you know, just very, very little information, just a few sentences and that's it, and then vast sections that are left blank, I just don't bother, because I think, well, if you cannot be bothered to give me a good, complete LinkedIn profile, why should I bother with you and even want to have a discussion with you? You know, look at you as a potential employee or want to do business with you. If you really can't be bothered to even complete your LinkedIn profile, doesn't say a lot about you. And so what I say with my LinkedIn profile, what your LinkedIn profile is for many of you, this is your digital thumbprint. This is where you have a digital identity. which is your professional identity. Nothing to do with your Facebook. This is LinkedIn. This is your professional digital identity. So make sure it looks as good as your CV. Otherwise, don't bother. Just don't bother with LinkedIn. Yeah, so take it seriously if you're going to do it at all. So don't leave anything blank. Make sure you have a professional photo on that LinkedIn profile. There are some people who give these silly photos. If I want to take you seriously, I want a serious photo. You can still smile. You can still look direct into that camera, but look professional. But don't leave that photo blank. Because if I don't have a photo there, people want to see what you look like, particularly on LinkedIn. CVs, for example, British CVs, in Britain, we don't need to see a photo as opposed to maybe other countries. But on LinkedIn, it's good. If I want to view your profile, I'd like to know what you look like. Don't you? I would. Selfie photo. Yeah, no, Crystal, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, unless it's really serious, it's a serious looking one, then great. If you're good at taking your own selfies without, making funny faces, then it's great. I'm sure a lot of you haven't done that and you wouldn't, but you'd be surprised how many people do. And thank you, Dan. I'm so glad you're finding this session useful. So don't leave any sections blank. Step 6, and this I will be talking a little more about. In fact, I will be writing a post about this. Write an outstanding summary and headline. So no pressure, okay? It has to be outstanding. Not just good, outstanding. That is really tough. That is tough for all of us. But it is still something that you can do. It is still achievable. So let's look at this. What you don't want, whatever you do, I said to you earlier, do not leave sections blank. Well, these two sections, your headline and your summary, please, whatever you do, do not leave those two blank, because those are the first things people are going to look at. So you've got your headline, and your headline is going to be short words that are going to describe who you are. You have 10 seconds to make an impression on that LinkedIn profile. Make it count. Make those 10 seconds count. Don't ruin it by not having a good headline. So, and also then you have your summary. So your headline, these are the first things potential connections and employees are going to look at. Then you want to make that headline engaging, but you also want it to accurately reflect who you are. So there's a lot of thinking about who you are. So when I coach my clients on LinkedIn profiles, we do a lot of soul searching, because you need to really think, where are you at this point in your career? What do you want to show to people? Who do you want? What do you want them to see about you? So you've got to think about that. And so there'll be key words that you want them to see. So think about that hard. They don't have to be complicated words in English, so don't worry about that. Hi Senegal, lovely, so glad you're here to join us. Now, so therefore that's it. So you want to be with the headline. You have 10 seconds. You want to keep it engaging. You want to make an impression, so you want to keep it short, concise. The summary is your chance then to be creative, to describe who you are and what you're passionate about. Now, one of the things I often say to clients, and one of the things that I learned when I was learning how to build my own LinkedIn profile, which was to perhaps have 3 questions, three little mini headlines. You could have starting off with who you are, how you help people, or who you help people, and how you help them. So let's start. You could say who I am, who I help, and how I help them. So with me, for example, I give them an idea of who I am, who I help, so an idea of my clients, and how I help them. So who I help, so therefore your connections are going to identify hopefully with the clients that you have. And how you help them gives them a way to see, okay, this is what she does, this is how she does it. And who I am is not just about my professional side, it's about who I am as a person. So you could start with that. So that gives you an idea of how do I start. But I will be talking a lot more, writing a lot more about the headline and the summary in my next post. If you want to receive that post directly into your inbox, don't forget to subscribe, because then I will be sharing that post with my email subscribers. So that way you get to see it. Hi from the UK to Brazil. Hi, Brazil. From Minas Gerais. I've had a few clients from there, actually. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I'm not very good with my Portuguese pronunciation. I do apologize in advance. So there we go. So more to come on the headline and summary. So don't worry. I will be giving you a lot more help on that. A few more examples on what you need to do, because those are the two key areas you need to work on particularly. So that's step 6. Step 7. Going back to what we were talking about, perhaps Vasiliki's point also about staying honest, act naturally, be natural. Now, one thing I find that, sometimes people like to write their CVs in a more formal way. No, act naturally. So don't write in the third person. Don't say she's done or has done this, was responsible for, is responsible for. No, act naturally. Speak like as if, write like as if you were speaking. So say, I was involved, or I am involved, or I'm responsible for, my job entails this, that, and the other. So put it in the first person. Don't feel that you have to put it all in the third person. Don't do that. Keep it natural. So act naturally, and make it more approachable, so people have a little glimpse of who you are. And be authentic. Your personality through your writing has to shine through. So don't try and be someone you're not. So be authentic and inject some of your personality. You can still do this even if English is not your language. I did this with my clients. I've done that with them, because what we've done is, when I'm coaching them, I've helped them to express themselves in their own way. And you can write that in LinkedIn. You don't have to have this you don't have to have a master's degree in the English language. You can just be yourself. Because don't forget that when you get into that job interview, should you have that, or have a business meeting with a client, a potential client whose senior profile wants to do business with you, you're going to have to speak in your own way, in your natural way. So you don't want to be unnatural in your LinkedIn profile. The two have to be the same. I want to deal with an authentic person. I don't want someone who's not real. So think about that. So that's step 7. So act naturally when you're writing. Now step 8. Let me see the time. I'm sorry. Here we go. I'm gone beyond that. I do apologize for this. Step 8. Once you've got your profile set up, and you can still always make changes, but maybe you've done most of your profile. Then the next thing you want to do is to connect to people, because after all, that's the whole point of LinkedIn, isn't it? Whole point of social media is to make connections. So what I always suggest, and what I've done in the past, is start connecting with people. You want to have at least 50 connections on your LinkedIn profile. And so what you want to do is gradually do that. Start looking. Perhaps you've had previous colleagues, previous people you worked with, you were at school with, you were at university with, in your previous job. Start connecting. And, if you've seen LinkedIn, you'll know you can then make that connection through the LinkedIn connection tab that allows you to do that. Now, here's the thing though. Because your connections are going to make a difference, and the more connections you have, great. But when you're inviting someone to connect, make that invitation personal. Please don't just do the default LinkedIn thing of, I'd like to add you to my professional connection. No. If you know the person and you want to first of all be connecting to people you know, make that invitation personal. Say, Dear, oh, hi, lovely to see you here on LinkedIn. Look, I'd love to connect with you here, or I've just joined LinkedIn. I'd love to connect, hope to hear from you. Keep it personal, put a little personal touch to that. So if you already know them, if they are previous colleagues or they are friends of yours, and you feel that they could help you with your professional world and your professional jobs, and getting a job or building a business, then do that. But keep it personal. Give a personal touch to that invitation. Don't just give this blanket, I'd like you to join my connect, my list. Sometimes I click yes, but that personal touch goes a long way for you to build your connections. So try that. Do that. It does matter, and it does make a difference. What I used to do when I was building this is I would do it a little bit every day. If I sort of earmarked a number of people I wanted to connect, I'd do it a little bit every day and just find people and then share it. So do that, because that will make a big difference for you. So, and for example, if you've met people at a conference, you've exchanged emails, or you've exchanged, and you look them up on LinkedIn and you think, oh, I'd like to connect. Then maybe just say something like, hi, it was such a pleasure to meet you at the conference last week. I really enjoyed our chat. I'd really like to connect with you here on LinkedIn. Hope to hear from you. You're unlikely to find people who are going to say no. They are bound to connect with you. And as soon as then they're connected, that's great. Then you can start that conversation. So that'd be a great way of doing things. So do that. You're always going to do that. Have a better reception from people. Step 9. We've come to step 9. Now, I've seen a lot. You'll see there's a lot of people endorse you. They give recommendations. And I think this is where Vasiliki, earlier you mentioned about references and recommendations. So now, if you've done business with clients and clients have used you and you are on LinkedIn, they're on LinkedIn, you're connected, you could ask them, would you be willing to give me a reference here on LinkedIn? And I'm sure they wouldn't have no problems. And then that reference gets added onto your LinkedIn profile. So that's references. Ask for references. Just as we ask for testimonials, you can ask for a reference on LinkedIn from people you know, people you've done business with, people you've worked with. So if they are previous employers, you were an employee, then ask for that. And that will come under references. And that always works really well. Now, endorsements, I've seen a lot of people, where they're endorsing you for your skills. So people will endorse you. Now, here's the thing with skills though. You don't want to just endorse people for random skills. Make sure the skill, and also what you want to do is make sure that the skills you have put down are relevant to what you want. Okay, sorry, I'm just interrupting here because Vasiliki says, if we already have reference letters from former teachers that aren't on LinkedIn. If they aren't on LinkedIn, that's going to be a bit more difficult, Vasiliki, to put letters, because unless you put the letter as a PDF. Yeah, you can add that as a PDF. Put that in and say, this is my reference letter. So that could be a way to work around that. I haven't come across that yet, but yeah, try that. And then for that particular job, there's a reference, and then you can put that. So where you make your profile visual and multimedia, put it as a PDF letter, and that could work. Try that and let me know. I've never tried it myself, but that's a good point. So endorsements, I was talking about endorsements where we have skills. So again, what you want to do is with the skills is that you don't want to have too many skills against your profile, because it tends to dilute your image. So for example, if your skills are specific, then you want to do that. You want to make sure that you have, that you've got, the specific skills that you want. Again, Vasiliki, you're asking me your degrees. No, the degrees will be on in your school and university section. So if you look under your LinkedIn profile, you'll have the sections, and then it will be about universities, professional qualifications, university and schooling. That's where you're going to add all the degrees, the qualifications you've achieved. So it's a separate part. It's not part of your employment history. So if you have a good look at the LinkedIn profile, so that is separate. So you put your degrees there and qualifications. So again, and qualifications will also include things like volunteering. So if you've done any volunteering work, and also you've got publications, there's a lot that you can add that you can't add on a CV. So have a look, explore Vasiliki. No, it won't necessarily be on a PDF. It will just be a link. You're typing in the information, Vasiliki. So it's not on a PDF. You're just writing what your qualification was. If you're talking about your certificate, if you want to show it, you don't have to. But if you want to, you could. That's just, responding to that. But I haven't, for example, put that. I've just said where I qualified and what I did. But then the certificate is not necessary on LinkedIn to put on. So I hope that helps. So on that one. So again, so your endorsements, your references. So again, references do ask from people, and then that can be added. And also your endorsements. So you endorse people, they'll endorse. If you write a reference for other people, that always helps, because then you're helping each other. Finally, I just wanted to have a quick, the final step, once you've got your profile ready and you've got your connections, you're building those connections slowly, then the other key thing is to look at LinkedIn groups. You need to network, like everything, LinkedIn is a social media platform, and you need to network. Just like we've got Facebook groups, we've got Facebook pages, or groups, LinkedIn has got many groups. So you can look at it in terms of industries. You can join those. So where you're particularly interested in, join those groups. You can have a look at the groups you're interested in and then join those groups. But what you also want to do is to be actively involved, particularly if you want to set yourself up as an authority in your field of work. So for example, if you've written many publications, or you're a specific connection, Gabriela, I'm really sorry that Facebook today, the connection for you has been bad. Yes, do check I'll upload this video and you get to see the recording. I'm so sorry it's been very difficult for you, Gabriela. I hope to see you next week, but the recording will be here in the next few hours, so you'll get to see the whole thing. And also a copy of this lesson will be with the link, because there's also is the post that I've written. So take care, Gabriela. So as I say, going back, LinkedIn groups. So join the LinkedIn groups, and you could be an authority in a specific area and you want to share with them. You want to share, have a look at what discussions there are. Get involved in those discussions. Maybe you have questions you want to ask, then ask questions, answer questions. That way people will begin to see who you are. They click onto your profile, they get to see you. Now, one thing with LinkedIn is that whoever views your profile, you can see. So you can get to see them. And if you see them and they're interesting and you want to connect with them, then, that way you get to see who's looking at your profile. And, so then you can do that. And if you want to then send a personal message, that's another way of doing that. But this is for another time to discuss LinkedIn. So that's one of the things. But here's your step, the 10 steps that I want you to do in terms of building your LinkedIn profile. And next time I will be talking about the LinkedIn summary, how you need to build your summary and your headline. But these are just the 10 steps, and then to build on that. I hope I've given you plenty of food. I can't find my idiom now. Plenty of food for thought. That's it. I couldn't think of that. Plenty to think about, plenty to consider, and maybe maybe I've given you a bit too much, but pick what you can, and maybe that will give you some ideas. Now the 10 steps are all in my post that I wrote a few weeks ago, which has also an audio version. So that will give you an idea of give you more information about this lesson. So I hope you enjoyed it, and give me a thumbs up if you did. And if you haven't signed up, so do sign up to my free e-guide. And don't forget that Business English Secrets video club, which I'll be sending you on the LinkedIn. But let me know a bit more about your LinkedIn profile. If you want a bit more information, I am planning on putting together an audiobook and a book on LinkedIn profile, how to get the best out of LinkedIn, so that way you will be able to have all the tools you need to build that. This has just been giving you the steps. You know, the book will cover you. I plan to do something a bit more, and if you think that would be interesting and want to, then I could do about something that will allow you to see exactly how to do it, give you the templates, and then so that will be great. Anyway, in the meantime, if you haven't, have a look at my LinkedIn profile, get some tips from there. Why not join me and connect up with me on LinkedIn? That'd be great. And also you can have a look at my LinkedIn profile, how I've done it, and maybe get some ideas on how you could do it. And if you do want some, you know, one-to-one coaching, then you know where I am. But you know that the LinkedIn profile will give you an idea. And from there, try and do your own. You know, everyone, it's always good to get started from that way. Anyway, listen, thank you so much for listening in, to watching me, to following me. I'm sorry if some of you had a better connection. I will be uploading this video soon, and there will be the links. I'm going to have lots of links actually for you this lesson. And join me next week on the 3rd of May, so Wednesday the 3rd of May, when I will be discussing perhaps, I don't know about the LinkedIn profile and the summary. I think I'll be talking about something else. I haven't quite thought about it yet. Let me know if there are ideas you'd like me to cover, then do share with me, because then I will talk a bit more about anything and everything you want to do about business communication. So we're talking presentations, job interviews, confusing words, everything that we'd like to do on Wednesdays with EWAT. Anyway, I'm off now. I think that's done. You've been incredibly patient. We're nearly an hour into it, and I'll upload this because then later I'm off to the cinema with my mum. My mum, who's still here another day, and then she flies back off to Milan. So I'm a bit sad, but never mind. It's been a wonderful 2 weeks with my mother. Anyway, thanks so much, fellow EWATers. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching Wednesdays with EWAT. See you soon and take care. Ciao for now, everybody. Ciao, ciao.